Caillou rides on a plane. Caillou was very excited. He was going on vacation with his family and was flying on an airplane for the first time. Once he was buckled in, Caillou looked around. Everything about the plane was new and unfamiliar. The flight attendant's voice over the loudspeaker, the passengers coming down the aisle, the noise of the engines. The airplane taxied down the runway, revved its engines, and took off. "Whew," said Caillou. He looked out the window and saw the ground getting further away. "All those squares you see down there are houses," Daddy explained, leaning over to look too. Caillou was amazed at how tiny everything looked. He didn't like being up in the sky very much. He wanted to be on the ground playing again. "Will we be there soon?" "No, not for a while," Daddy replied. A flight attendant stopped with her cart beside their seats and asked, "Would you like some breakfast?" "Yes, please," Caillou said. The attendant put a meal tray down in front of Caillou. There were fruit, juice, fresh bread, jam, and cheese. Caillou thought breakfast tasted much better on an airplane. Daddy leaned back to listen to music on his headphones. Caillou noticed buttons on the armrest. He pressed one to see what would happen. Caillou looked surprised as Daddy suddenly put his hands up to his ears. "Ow, that's too loud," Daddy said. Later, a man in a uniform came up to them. Daddy whispered, "Say hello to our pilot, Caillou." "Hello," Caillou said. "Would you like to see how this plane flies?" the pilot asked. "Oh, yes," Caillou said. "Welcome to the cockpit, Caillou," the pilot said. The co-pilot was sitting in front of the instrument panel. Caillou stared at the panel. There were so many flashing lights, buttons, and glowing dials. It looked like a video game. Caillou looked out the window and saw white fluff all around the plane. "What's that, Daddy?" Caillou asked. "Those are clouds, Caillou." "Are we inside the clouds right now?" asked Caillou, surprised. "That's right," replied Daddy. "It's nice in the clouds, isn't it, Daddy?" "We'll be landing soon," the pilot announced. "But before you go, I've got something for you." He reached into his pocket and took out a little pair of wings, which he pinned on Caillou's shirt. "All our young pilots earn their wings." Caillou had never felt so proud. With his nose glued to the window, Caillou watched the plane land. When the wheels touched the runway, he felt a little bump. "Wow, that's it, Daddy. We're back on the ground." "Thank you for flying with us," said the flight attendant. "Goodbye, Caillou. Have a nice vacation." Caillou was thrilled that she knew his name. Caillou could hardly wait to be on his way home again. Now that he had his wings, maybe next time the pilot would let him fly the plane. The end.